I've been cosplaying for 10 years, and a lot of my friends have been not have been cosplaying for a long time as well. And I have seen very, very, very talented people not really getting the recognition they deserve. And it's because there's a lot of people who, like, I'm not saying that it's bad content, but there's faster content that can be created and can be put out at a faster rate. Therefore pleasing the algorithm, therefore being on people's like For You pages and stuff like that. And people who like, I'm not saying it's necessarily better. Um, People who put in like hours of work into like one piece don't get that sort of gain on the algorithm. For the saturation thing, like I think a lot of people are very focused on their engagement and things like that to the point that it's like detrimental to people's mental health, which I think is very unfortunate. And because cosplay is not always about all the likes. However, of course, if you do it, then people feel like you need to get some sort of like validation from it as well because it's such a visual art. A lot of people are into cosplay now. Anybody can do it. And yet not everyone gets the recognition for it, right? And not everyone gets the support. It's really unfortunate as well. Like there's other like POC cosplayers that are like bullied for how they look and stuff like that. They're bullied, they're taken down, which is why I'm so glad to see more other POC cosplayers trying to like lift them up and shit like that. So it's really cliche to say cosplay is for everyone because unfortunately people don't feel that way. And sometimes people get pushed out of the community because of it as well, which is obviously not okay. But
I agree with you. I have always appreciated cosplay, and even when I would walk away from the scene for like a year or two, come back to it, I would see slight changes, but it was still something that was more and more accessible for people. It really is only within the last couple years I noticed there are a lot of amazing, talented creators, and they don't get the recognition that they deserve, but they put in the time, they put in the effort, and they're fighting against an invisible algorithm, or they have to fight against trends. Like, if I'm not interested in a certain show, I don't think I should have to talk about it and indulge in it in order to be able to grow in my community. If you like to build your own cosplay, like you stitch it, put it together, make even little variations of it, you should be allowed to do that. And when you put up your work, you still get recognition for it. But instead, there are people who have a seemingly unlimited amount of income and they can just get ready-made cosplay and they can throw it up online. And I have no problem with ready-made cosplay. I have no problem with using any of the resources or accessories that you can to cosplay what you want to do, because everyone has a different approach. But at the same time, when you're seeing people who are putting so much effort into the collaborating with the right photographer, making sure that they're actually being as faithful as they want to, or taking some liberties with their design, and they're getting 30 likes, and then it gets buried by the algorithm. People who are following them can't even see their content. It's very disheartening. And then when you see somebody else who, whether they have an OnlyFans and they're looking to just like, what is trending, what does my audience want, I have no problem with that. But every single time that person is winning out and they can challenge the algorithm and they can overcome it, that to me seems like an uphill battle for any content creator in cosplay. And the photographers have encountered it. People who are strictly in photos are encountering it. If you're not moving over to video, it seems like you're becoming a relic of the past. It's very difficult nowadays.
I I don't know many photographers who do both photos and video, so I'm surprised you say that.
I've had photographers on my channel that say that as much as they love this medium and as much as they love to shoot different styles, not just cosplay, if they're not doing CMVs, if they're not doing TikTok, then their stuff is getting buried. If they're not putting up videos on Instagram, again, their stuff is getting buried. They need to focus on stories. They need to focus on that upcoming medium. And it's kind of hard when you spend a week editing photos for a cosplayer that was expecting them to get it sooner than later, and they can just in their room make 5 TikToks for the week. It's kind of hard to compete with that.
Definitely. I think that because I make TikTok as well, or at least I used to, it's very easy to like just batch produce content, and people who can batch produce like good content are definitely gonna do better. I think, excuse me, I think it's foolish to not be in tune with the trends though, because I think that everyone's a slave to the algorithm at the end of the day. Like, it's something that I had to come to terms with. I can't just like keep doing whatever I want, whatever like niche thing I want to do to like necessarily like get noticed or like um get people to see my content. Um and I think it's unfortunate, but it's the same on like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You have to like know or at least be like versatile enough to like create content from like different sources of why you're going to do it, if that makes sense. Like at the core of it, you should be making content for you. However, if you want to like grow an audience, you have to be in tune with the trends. Like you can't be cosplaying like old animes and you can't just keep putting the same content out like that. I'm definitely guilty of taking forever to post, but it's something that I'm proud of at the end of the day. So that's why I feel like I'm okay with it. And I know that I'm going to be like slow growing compared to other people who can put out content way faster. And I'm not saying that their content's bad, obviously, because I have friends who can literally edit like 5 photos in a night, and I'm just like, what the heck? How do you do that?
Wow.
Or like I have another friend who can she can edit like 20 photos for like Patreon and stuff like that in like a whole day. And I literally can't do that. I cannot batch edit, but that's just not how I work. Not saying that she edits bad, obviously not, but people have different ways of working to get the product that they want. It's just a needing to balance like whether you want to please the algorithm or like whether you want to do it for yourself or just the goal of why you're creating the content essentially. I think some people are very, very lucky. They can just do whatever they want and they can just like pop off. I'm not one of those people. And I think that most people are not lucky in that sense. Otherwise, it's not really lucky anymore. But it's definitely a grind, I think. And I cannot, for myself, I cannot expect to post like once a month and just blow up immediately, right? So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to criticize anybody else. This is more like about me.